welcome to Daily News Simplified, the answer to what, why and how of newspaper reading. Today I am going to discuss Delhi edition dated 20th April 2018 of The Hindu. So let's begin. The first article that we will discuss today appears on page 9 and it reads, "In the Haze." So this pictorial talks about the State of Global Air Report 2018 and the results of this report pertaining to India. This article forms a part of Environment in GS Paper 3 under the subheading Conservation, Environmental Pollution and Degradation, Environmental Impact Assessment. So this State of Global Air Report 2018 is published every year by the Health Effects Institute and the Institute of Health Metrics and Evaluation. So we will discuss some of the important key findings for India that have been mentioned in this report. Firstly, this report says that India has experienced an increase in air pollution levels. Firstly, this report says that India has experienced the steepest increase in air pollution since 2010, as well as a high concentration of PM 2.5 exposure. In India, around 43% of the population still uses solid fuels, and around 560 million people in India are exposed to household air pollution, which is one of the major sources of air pollution in India. The other result that this report has highlighted is that China and India account for the highest number of deaths due to PM 2.5 exposure. It says that China and India together account for around 51% of the total global deaths attributable to PM 2.5 exposure. So some of the key findings as per the State of Global Air Report are that India has a high concentration of PM 2.5 exposure and 43% of the total population still uses solid fuels, and people exposed to household air pollution in India are around 560 million. Also, China and India together account for around 51% of the total global deaths that are caused due to PM 2.5 exposure. Along with this, the article also gives the percentage of contributors to the total disease burden in India. So let's discuss that as well. As given in this article, the highest number of pollution related deaths are caused by burning residential biomass. The other factors that result in pollution related deaths are dust, power plant coal, industrial coal, open burning, brick production, transportation and distributed diesel. So these are the main contributors leading to pollution related deaths in India. The report also gives a solution as to how to reduce these pollution related deaths. It says that particular attention should be given to reduce emissions from household biomass combustion, coal burning and dusts related to human activities. As we just saw that household biomass combustion is the biggest factor contributing to pollution related deaths in the country. So with the help of this article, we have got to know about this report, that is State of Global Air Report, which is published by these two institutions. And this report has given particular results about air pollution in India. It says that out of the major sources of PM 2.5 emission in India, burning of residential biomass is the biggest cause of pollution related deaths in the country. Hence, in order to reduce this number of pollution related deaths, the government should take steps to reduce emissions from household biomass combustion, coal burning and dusts related to human activities. So all these results of the State of Global Air Report are important from both prelims as well as mains exam point of view. With this, we will move on to the next article. The next article that we will discuss appears on page 18 and it reads, NASA's Planet Hunter blasts off to space. This topic forms a part of GS Paper 3 under the heading Science and Technology. So it says that NASA's Transiting Exoplanet Survey Satellite, or in short TESS, is a space telescope for NASA's Explorers program, and this TESS has been designed to search for exoplanets using the transit method. Here, exoplanet means a planet which is outside our solar system and that orbits a star. And this mission is expected to find more than 20,000 exoplanets. In the past, NASA has launched other missions as well, such as Kepler, which was aimed at discovering Earth-sized planets orbiting other stars. Next, we should know that the primary mission objective for TESS is to survey the brightest stars near the Earth for transiting exoplanets over a 2-year period. Also, we discussed here that TESS will be watching for phenomena through a transit method. Here, transit means that when a planet passes in front of its star from the observer's perspective, and thus causing a periodic and regular dip in the star's brightness. So with the help of this article, we have understood many key points about the Transiting Exoplanet Survey Satellite, or TESS, which is a space telescope for NASA's Explorers program. TESS is designed to search for exoplanets using the transit method. Here, exoplanets means those planets that are outside our solar system that orbits a star. Just like NASA's Explorers mission, it had also earlier launched a Kepler mission to discover Earth-sized planets orbiting other stars. We have also understood that the mission of TESS is to survey the brightest stars near the Earth for transiting planets over a 2-year period. We have also understood the meaning of this term transit method. Here, transit occurs when a planet passes in front of its star from an observer's perspective, causing a dip in the star's brightness. Since this is a current affairs topic in science and technology, it is important because similar questions like this have been asked in the past in prelims as well. For example, in 2015, a question was asked which said the term Goldilocks zone is often seen in the news in the context of, and the correct answer was option C, that is search for Earth-like planets in outer space. So similarly, questions can be asked about TESS, or Transiting Exoplanet Survey Satellite, and hence you should remember all these key points from the prelims perspective. With this, we will move on to the next article. The next article that we will discuss appears on page 10 and it reads NSA to head new defense panel. This topic forms a part of security under the subheading Various Security Agencies and their mandate. So the Government of India has revamped the existing defense planning system and it has established a defense planning committee under the chairmanship of the National Security Advisor. So in today's discussion, we will understand some key points about this defense planning committee. The main purpose of this defense planning committee is to facilitate a comprehensive and integrated planning for defense matters. Next, we should know about the membership of this defense planning committee. The members of this committee will include the National Security Advisor as its chairman, 3 service chiefs, one of whom is the Chief of Staff Committee, the Defense Secretary, Foreign Secretary, Secretary Expenditure of the Ministry of Finance, Chief of Headquarters Integrated Defense Staff as a member secretary, and further the NSA is empowered to co-opt other members as and when required. So till now we have understood that the government, in order to revamp defense planning in the country, has established a defense planning committee under the chairmanship of the National Security Advisor, and this committee will provide comprehensive and integrated planning for defense matters, and we have also discussed the membership of this committee. Next, we will understand what are the duties of this committee. So the Defense Planning Committee will analyze and evaluate inputs related to national defense and security priorities, foreign policy imperatives, operational directives and associated requirements, relevant strategic and security related doctrines, defense acquisition and infrastructure development plans, defense technology and other tasks as it feels necessary. And for the purpose of fulfilling these duties, the Defense Planning Committee has to prepare 5 different set of drafts, and these drafts will include the National Security Strategy, Strategic Defense Review and Doctrines, International Defense Engagement Strategy, Roadmap to Build Defense Manufacturing Ecosystem, Strategy to Boost Defense Exports, and Capability Development Plans for the Armed Forces. Lastly, in order to assist the functioning of this Defense Planning Committee, the new mechanism provides for 4 subcommittees, And these subcommittees are Policy and Strategy, Plans and Capability Development, Defense Diplomacy, and Defense Manufacturing Ecosystem. So we have understood what are the main duties of the Defense Planning Committee, what are the different drafts that will be prepared by the Defense Planning Committee, and what are the various subcommittees to assist the working of this Defense Planning Committee. Questions pertaining to this committee may be asked in both prelims as well as mains exam. For example, in mains 2009, a question was asked which said write a short note on National Security Advisory Board. So similarly, short notes can also be asked on this Defense Planning Committee. With this, we will move on to the next article. The next article that we will discuss appears on page 8 and it reads Under Scrutiny. So this article says that the Law Commission of India has recommended that the Board of Control for Cricket in India or BCCI should be brought under the purview of the RTI Act. And this recommendation by the Law Commission has been given after the recommendations made by the Lodha Committee, which also said that BCCI should be brought under the ambit of the RTI Act 2005 by considering BCCI as a public authority. So in today's discussion, we will try to understand all the key points pertaining to bringing BCCI under the RTI Act and some of the important recommendations of the Lodha Committee report. Now here, BCCI as of now is registered under the Tamil Nadu Societies Registration Act 1975. However, the question remains that despite the recommendations of the Law Commission and the Lodha Committee, can BCCI be brought under the purview of RTI Act? So, we will try to first understand which particular authorities come under the RTI Act. So, as you all must be knowing that RTI Act 2005 gives the citizens the right to secure access to information under the control of public authorities. And this will help to promote transparency and accountability in the working of every public authority. The RTI Act also defines these public authorities. It explains that public authority is any authority or body or institution of self-government which has been established or constituted by under the Constitution, by any other law made by the Parliament, by any other law made by the state legislature, and by notification issued or order made by the appropriate government, and includes any body owned, controlled or substantially financed, a non-governmental organization substantially financed directly or indirectly by funds provided by the appropriate government. So all these categories define a public authority as per the RTI Act. Hence, for BCCI to be included under RTI, it must come within the meaning of public authority under RTI, or it should come under the state as per Article 12 of the Constitution of India. So till now we have understood that what will be the requirements for BCCI to be included under RTI. First of all, RTI Act's main purpose is to allow the citizens to have access to information under the control of public authorities. Here, public authorities are any authorities or bodies or institutions of self-government which fulfill any of these criteria. And hence, for BCCI to be included under RTI, it must come under the meaning of public authority or state as per Article 12 of the Constitution. Now we will understand what is Supreme Court's stand on the BCCI issue. So the Supreme Court decided in 2005 that BCCI does not come within the purview of public authority and neither does it come under the state as per Article 12 of the Indian Constitution. Here, this term state would include those authorities that are financially, functionally or administratively dominated by the government. And with respect to BCCI, the Supreme Court, while hearing a matter in the case of Zee Telefilms Limited versus Union of India, said that BCCI is not financially, functionally or administratively dominated by the government, and hence it is not a state under Article 12 of the Constitution. So we have understood from here that according to the Supreme Court, BCCI does not come under the purview of public authority or a state under Article 12. This is because a state is one which is financially, functionally or administratively dominated by the state. But Supreme Court in its verdict of this particular case said that BCCI is not dominated by the government in all these three respects, and hence it does not come under RTI or state under Article 12 of the Constitution. So with the help of this entire discussion, we have understood that Law Commission's recommendation to include BCCI under RTI Act is very important. And lastly, we will discuss some of the important recommendations of the Lodha Committee on BCCI reforms. The main recommendations of this committee are that no minister or serving bureaucrat can be member of the BCCI board. No BCCI office bearer can have more than 2 consecutive terms. It has recommended one association for one state, and it is also proposed one state, one vote. Also, it is said that one person should hold one post in the cricket administration to avoid any conflict of interest. It has also suggested BCCI to be treated as a public authority under RTI Act, which is the main issue that we have discussed today. And lastly, it has recommended separate governing bodies for the IPL and BCCI. So this is an important discussion pertaining to both prelims as well as mains exam. Things such as recommendations of the Lodha Committee report, definition of state as per Article 12 of the Constitution, and RTI and public authority are very important, and you should remember all these concepts for both prelims as well as mains exam. With this, we will move on to the next article. The next article that we will discuss appears on page 6 and it reads, Kaila Devi tiger births a pointer to space crunch. So with the help of this article, we will try to understand some key points about the Ranthambore National Park. In the past, in the prelims exam, many direct and indirect questions have been asked pertaining to national parks, and therefore in today's discussion, we will try to understand some important key points about the Ranthambore National Park. So Ranthambore National Park lies in the Savai Madhopur district of Rajasthan, as you can see from this map as well. This park was declared as one of the Project Tiger reserves in 1973, and Ranthambore became a national park in 1980. In 1991, this tiger reserve was enlarged to include the Savai Mansingh and Kaila Devi sanctuaries. Also, Ranthambore National Park is known for its Bengal tigers. Next, we will discuss about the flora and fauna of the Ranthambore National Park. The Ranthambore National Park consists of deciduous forests, which are a characteristic example of the jungles found in central India. Also, you should know about the rivers that pass through this national park. So, this park is bounded to the north by the Banas River, and it is bounded to the south by Chambal River. Also, as we had discussed earlier, Ranthambore National Park is known for its Bengal tigers. The other fauna that is found in this park are Indian leopard, nilgai, wild boar, sambar, striped hyena, rhesus macaque, and so on. Another important fact that you should know about Ranthambore National Park is that the Ranthambore Fort lies within this national park, and this Ranthambore Fort is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And Ranthambore Fort was granted this World Heritage Site status along with 5 other forts, and those 5 forts are the Chittor Fort, Kumbhalgarh Fort, Gagron Fort, Amer Fort and Jaisalmer Fort. So all these 6 forts have been designated as UNESCO World Heritage Sites. So with the help of this discussion, we have understood some key points about the Ranthambore National Park, which lies in the Savai Madhopur district and has been declared as one of the Project Tiger reserves. It also includes the Savai Mansingh and Kaila Devi sanctuaries and is known for its Bengal tigers. Apart from this, the flora in this national park consists of deciduous forests, which are examples of jungles found in the central India. The river Banas and Chambal pass through the Ranthambore National Park, and the Ranthambore Fort lies inside this Ranthambore National Park, and this fort along with 5 other forts have been designated as UNESCO World Heritage Sites. So this topic is important from your prelims exam point of view, as this is in the news, and in the past questions have been asked about which rivers pass through which national park and about the flora and fauna of particular national parks. So you should know all these facts from your prelims point of view. With this, we come to an end to today's newspaper discussion. Now let's move on to question for the day.